So if you're looking for some crappy content, you've come to the right place. In front of you, you're looking at a Model 310 gravity flush toilet from the folks over at Dometic. Now, if you own an RV and you have been considering getting rid of the crappy toilet you currently have and replacing it with something that can handle your crap a little better, the Model 310 is possibly something you've been eyeballing. First of all, big shout out to my channel sponsor eTrailer.com for providing this, because I wanted to do kind of a different type of review on something that all of us enjoy sitting on occasionally to take some pressure and some stress out of our lives. That said, what you're looking at in front of you is a good upgrade to what a lot of people probably have in their RV. And that's generally going to be like a Thetford toilet, possibly a Dometic toilet. But in most cases, if it is a factory installed toilet in an RV costing less than $20,000, it's likely going to be plastic. But in most cases, once you get above $30,000, the toilets are going to be porcelain, thankfully. Now, those toilets will usually be manufactured by either Dometic or Thetford, and it will have a round bowl versus this elongated bowl. And essentially what that means is as you look at this type of bowl, you're looking at more of a comfortable residential setup. Something that also might be important to you is the height. How high does your toilet sit off the ground? Because you want the most comfortable pooping position, as my good friend Matt at Matt's RV Review would talk about. Now, this would be a great time to have a sponsored video by Liquefied because we're talking about poop content. But in reality, we're talking about mainly just the toilet, not where all of this stuff goes. This is because the Model 310 is one of the most popular replacements that people put inside of their RV. One that we mentioned earlier, the elongated bowl, but also the fact that it gives you a really, really nice solid lid, solid seat, and they're both soft closing. So this is an area where you might spend extra money for a soft close lid for your toilet, but it's nice to know if you upgrade to this 310, you're going to get a much, much higher end seat that is soft closing in a porcelain elongated format, which is something that I think a lot of people appreciate. That said, there are actually 3 different models that Dometic makes in this lineup. They have a 300 series, a 310, and a 320. They're all a little bit different. So the 300 is considered kind of the budget entry level version. It's all plastic. It's gravity flush with a triple jet system. It has a plastic seat and it has a round bowl. The height is approximately 18 inches, and it's really designed to be a lightweight, low-cost toilet for folks who are looking to replace whatever might have come in their RV. Perhaps it's broken and they want to go with something that is very, very inexpensive that's just going to be kind of a direct replacement. It's definitely less durable and it feels cheap to some people. So if you get the 300 series, just keep that in mind. It's going to have a very plasticky sound and plasticky feel to it. The 310, like we have in front of us, is actually considered their mid-tier upgrade. So it actually has a vitreous ceramic bowl, has a plastic base down at the bottom. It has a pressure-enhanced gravity flush system, which creates a powerful swirl effect. The seat is plastic, it's all plastic, but it's elongated shaped, and it's a very dense plastic material, so it doesn't feel cheap and lightweight. It feels like a high-end seat. Standard height is approximately 18 inches. It definitely has a better flush mechanism, and it's a lot more durable than the 300 series, but it still has some plastic components which can wear out over time. Now, the 320 series is considered premium. It's their premium comfort. It's full vitreous ceramic top to bottom, which means it's going to weigh more as well, because this bottom part here is plastic, whereas the top part's ceramic, but on the 320, the entire thing is ceramic, so it will have quite a bit more weight. It also has a powerful gravity flush system, which is a rim wash swirl type effect. It has a wooden seat that's elongated and very residential style also. And it's a little taller as well. It's approximately 20 inches in height. So if you're looking for something for folks who might be a little taller or looking for more of like a true residential style seat, that would be the seat you're looking for, the 320. So, and again, it's approximately 20 inches tall. It's the closest to a home toilet that they have. Very sturdy, easy to clean. However, it is heavier and more expensive. Now, the height of the toilet truly does matter. Depending on your height, depending on your most comfortable pooing position, the height could really dictate if you have a comfortable seat and if you've upgraded to the right seat. There's a lot of folks that will go to their local RV dealership and they'll see a toilet and they're like, I want to upgrade to that, not thinking about some of the things you should normally think about when you're looking at upgrading to a new toilet, such as the height of the seat. So this toilet, too, the height of the seated position is going to be right at 18.5 inches. Let's say 18 to 18.5 inches because it's going to taper in slightly. So the outer edge is going to be at 18.5, the inner edge is going to be at 18 inches. And again, This is going to give you a more comfortable, more natural seated position versus the round bowls that you see in some RVs. One of the reasons why you traditionally will see a round bowl versus elongated bowl is mainly because it takes up less room off of the wall. So the rounded bowls usually come in about here, and you get about 2.5 inches extra length when you move to this type of bowl. But there are things you do need to consider if you are switching between different toilets and different brands. One of those is going to be the connections on the back. So with Dometic, the connections are usually placed a little bit lower to the bottom. I guess if you're looking at the front, the bottom right. If you're looking at the back, the bottom left of the toilet. On some Thetford and other brands, it's a little bit higher right here. So you may have to do a little bit of plumbing work to route the line correctly to the back of the toilet, just so everything is compatible and everything's working the right way. So the way this is essentially going to work is as water's being pumped in when you push the foot flush toilet lever, the water's going to come down in kind of a hurricane or a vortex where it's going to spin, and it should help clean the bowl while at the same time get any particles or anything that's stuck to the inside of the bowl out and down into your black tank. So this is a pretty good setup, but you do want to make sure that you are getting good water flow to it so it has the right amount of pressure here. And I think in most cases, if you're simply doing a replacement of your toilet, you're not going to have any problems, right? As long as you have that traditional 40, 50 PSI that most RV parks are going to see, all the way up to around 60 PSI max, I don't think you'll have any problem with the water coming out the way it should. When you are dealing with a toilet that is giving you problems, though, you have to wonder if it's the toilet or if it's the water connection itself. So if you have like a factory installed toilet in your RV and the water is not coming out very quickly, it could possibly be a water line that has problems, a water line that might be obstructed somehow, or a water line that may be pinched. And you want to check that out if that's the reason why you're replacing your toilet. That's the main thing. If you replace it and you still have a water line related issue and that's the only reason why you're replacing the toilet because you think it's the toilet, well, naturally, your new toilet's not going to perform the way that it should. This is a really, really nice looking toilet too, and what's nice about it is it's relatively lightweight. So most people who are installing a toilet, if you've done it in your home, you'll probably realize that a home toilet can weigh upwards of like 50 pounds. It can be pretty dang heavy and awkward to move. You know, when you're not a content creator, having a really messy workbench is kind of easy to deal with because you don't have to deal with it. But when you are a content creator, you kind of shove everything to the side and hopefully it doesn't make everything look bad. That said, we have this Dometic toilet on our scale. We are right at 28 pounds, 11 ounces. So right under 30 pounds, you're gonna have a toilet that weighs probably half as much as what a traditional toilet might weigh inside your home. So that's really nice, which means most people who are planning on doing this upgrade won't have to worry about sheer strength being a prerequisite to do it. So it's really nice that this thing doesn't weigh a tremendous amount. Anyways, we will be doing a future video where this will be installed inside of an RV, so you will actually see what that process looks like. It's relatively simple. What I wanted to do here was to at least give you the differences and why this is considered an upgrade over most of the toilets that are included with RVs, while at the same time giving you an affordable mid-tier option. Anyways, I will throw a link in the description of this video. Big shout out to my channel sponsor, eTrailer.com. When you go to that link, you'll have access to all sorts of different toilets from all sorts of different manufacturers, and just finding the one that meets your needs is the most important. But also look for features that will prevent you from having to make a crappy decision again in the future because you may not have gotten the type of toilet that's perfect for your bum. So if you are looking for a toilet, check out eTrailer.com, link in the description of this video. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.